Scram, McFly. We're checking out the Scene Snobs.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast, written by me. Well, not really. Actually, Jack technically wrote that.
And
it's technically a Jack-written song, but he did it years ago as an audio recording when we first started. And then I had him re-record that one, and he's older now, so I might have to have him come in and redo it again. But
just have the phases. That would be awesome. Yeah, just slowly build this thing into a song over time. It'd be fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Just keep adding words. Don't stop talking.
Just flush it out, man.
I feel bad because, like, when we're on the podcast and I leave the Courtney Gaines, Scram McFly, like, I know it's Courtney Gaines because I love Back to the Future. You know it's Courtney Gaines because you love Back to the Future, and we were both there for the interview.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say he's Courtney Gaines. So I wonder if people are like, what? What is happening?
Well, they got to recognize it's Malachi, the very least.
Well, not on the audio, though. No,
that is true. On the audio, you wouldn't know, would you?
So I might have to ask him, this is Courtney Gaines. Not me talking right now. The guy's about to talk.
Not to be confused. Yeah, this upcoming voice will be Courtney Gaines.
Dude. So some big news just came out.
Yeah, some huge news.
Yes, the Spider-Man trailer number 2 is finally here.
It dropped.
All day. I have been anticipating. Well, I think we've all been anticipating it for like months, but.
Well, you've been anticipating it like bated breath, my friend. You've had straight up bells on. You've been waiting.
Dude, thank God for TikTok because I've been able to do so many theory videos on TikTok and not put them anywhere else because I'm like, I'm so afraid like everybody's going to get tired of me talking about Spider-Man. But I don't care, man. I'm in.
Out of all the Marvel stuff, that's my tops. I am always excited for Spider-Man. Everything else, I'm wishy-washy. I'll wait. Like I finally have seen Shang-Chi, and I was like, it was good. I really liked it. It was an awesome kung fu flick. But I'm just not as interested. The Eternals, I definitely do not care to see. I'll catch that in a couple months. But yeah, Spider-Man, Alan J. Spiderman is where it's at.
I'm so in, man. I can't wait. Every aspect of it, all the theories, everything about it, I'm in. We know it's building to a bigger world because they've already introduced, spoiler alert, everybody who hasn't seen Venom, Let There Be Carnage. They've introduced Spider-Man into that world. So, I thought it might be fun for the two of us to watch and react to the Spider-Man trailer right here.
Oh, I'm so excited. Let's do it.
All right, so here it is, guys. We're going to watch the trailer. We're going to react to it. So if this is first time watching it, I don't care. We get to talk over it. It's our show.
Well, we're going to see how it works out. Let's take a look at it now.
All right, here we go. I'm pressing play. I love the trailer for the trailer.
Yeah, the get in for this trailer.
Ever since I got bit by that
Rain.
spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal.
Oh.
That was when you found out.
Oh, because he loves her.
I love her as MJ.
Oh, she's great.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors.
Oh, Strange made
We're gonna see him?
Every universe.
Yeah, there's my guy.
Hello, Peter.
He looks so good.
Yeah, he does. Hasn't aged a day.
You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
Don't disrespect Doc Ock. Oh, man, you better beat him up
we
good.
need to send them back.
Oh, my God.
So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
All this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Nice.
Strong.
Please,
Super.
Scooby-Doo this crap.
Yes, nice.
Oh, you're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die. Fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate.
I mean, I got J. Jonah Jameson, so I'm pretty
Sorry,
stoked.
kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Oh my god, I love
Oh, snap.
There has to be another
Gouge
way.
body
There
food.
isn't. They're a danger to our universe.
You're not gonna take this away from me.
So Electro looks great. So we've got him.
Struggling
it. Yep.
to have everything you want, while
Willem
the
Dafoe's Green
world
Goblin.
There's Willem.
make you choose.
Random Willem Dafoe is amazing. Happy.
There's Lizards, Storm,
Can't say for
Sandman,
everyone.
Electro.
Electro, Sandman. Is that Thomas Hayden Church?
I believe so. We haven't seen him, but I believe he's coming back too because that's
Like a
everybody
giant
else.
sand wall face. So yeah. Oh, cool. They're doing the MJ's falling just like Gwen Stacy. That's fun.
Oh,
Actually, MJ always falls.
What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
December 17th, exclusively at movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Spider Monday.
I love the idea of Spider Monday. Although my Spider Monday would be very different. Like maybe actually have some tarantulas. Maybe
Just like petting them.
have an
and playing
adoption event. Be like, "Hi, would you like one of these brown tarantulas?" To get really into it. Like that would be awesome.
That's
That's my
perfect.
Spider Monday. That's what I think of.
Mine is wearing a Spider-Man mask in my fat suit, aka my body, and watching.
Why don't you go ahead and time out and stop talking smack about my friend Mike?
Well, thank you, sir. I do want to say real quick as we're going through. George says, "Heyo, hey George."
Hi, George.
George E3 again. I love Doctor Strange involvement. That is
All day.
cool. And Kathleen, we meet again.
Oh, Kathleen, a wonderful Tuesday to you, madam.
So as we go on and we watch the trailer and we're super excited, still no Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, so there's no confirmation. You said you're okay with it when we initially talked. I am too, because I know a lot of the rumors around the mill were Kevin Feige and MCU do not want to release that information. They do not want them in there. They didn't even want the Green Goblin in there, but they kind of waved on that a little bit. You don't get an official.
They waved on him from the beginning because they had his voiceover from like the word go.
Not
So
really.
I felt like they had this strong Willem like from the beginning.
Yeah, well, because we knew he was going to be in it because it was so heavy that he was there. We knew Alfred Molina was coming back, so we knew a lot of that. So you kind of have to let that one go and be like, all right, you can show him. So they put him in a new poster. Now they put him on in this trailer. I do like. All right, I'm wondering if some of this is just extra filmed footage like they've done with other movies to keep us off the trail of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Because
it could be, but why? It's Disney, man. They've got so much damn money. They could have probably just shot some extra junk and had
shot a
pieces
whole other
laying.
movie.
Yeah, they just had pieces laying on the floor, and they were like, "Hey, we're just gonna slap all this together, call it a trailer, and everyone will be happy. They'll be sated until Spider Monday."
I am very excited for this, though. So we have 5 villains in that one that we saw. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows who the 6th villain's going to be. It's going to be interesting.
Now, why would 6 villains be important?
Because one of the great Spider-Man story arcs that they've always touched down on very so often, but was always awesome, was the Sinister Stix storyline.
Truly one of my favorites and a classic. Started with, out the gate, I'm pretty sure they had him against the 6. You had Vulture, Doc Ock, Electro, Rhino.
I think Shocker.
Scorpion.
I don't know if it was Electro. It might have been Shocker.
Oh, sorry. Maybe Shocker. Yeah.
Actually, let me look it up. Let me see who the original. Who were the original? Because there are so many variations of it.
That's the thing. I do remember quite a few because I feel like Sandman was in one of them when they came back, but that might have been Ultimate. I think Ultimate was where he was one of them.
Okay, you're right. So it was Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, which would make sense for him to come back.
Mysterio, yep.
Dr. Octopus, Vulture, Sandman, Electro.
Okay, but you've killed Mysterio, so you've opened that door for whomever they'd want to bring in there.
You could bring Vulture back, but it'd be interesting to see how they do it. You could bring Mysterio back because we don't know if he's dead.
I mean, he's dead, but when you multiverse anything, I mean, all of a sudden there's a whole lot of people who are suddenly back. So that's the whole point of the multiverse. Like, ooh, surprise, mother trucker. We've been hiding these characters for months.
Oh yeah. Well, in the first trailer, on the newspaper that one of them is reading, it says in the corner, Rhino destroys City Zoo, and it also says the Black Cat, friend or foe. So it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, and they're opening the door to a lot of things. But again, it's Marvel, and they are not against messing with us.
They've already done the Eternals. The doors have been blown off since Guardians of the Galaxy, when they made me fall in love with a talking tree that said 3 freaking words. It's it. They can do whatever they want. Even though I bitch about the Eternals, it's probably going to be good enough for me to go, yeah, it was fine. I didn't take my kid to it, so it'll be a different experience for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't be the surprise sex scene. I don't have to worry about.
It's so stupid too.
That's so uncomfortable, man. Like, it's just such an odd position to be put in.
I did read a really good article with a great take on the Eternals in terms of spirituality. And it turned me around on the Eternals as its own entity.
Okay.
Would be an interesting... I kind of want to rewatch it from that take, but I still maintain as an MCU movie, it doesn't fit, and there's way too many plot holes to fit into the MCU. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, it is a long, drawn-out, boring story.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. If you kind of have the bad, it's back to that Zack Snyder Justice League. Sure, he changed the prettiness and the tone of it, but the same bare bones story is still there. And weak bones is weak bones; they still gonna break.
Yep.
So.
Well, another thing that's been really exciting lately, just talk kind of pop culture-ish for now. Us we're a couple pop culture addicted fellows.
Just stuck here in the old no fucks November. So just
no
a couple
fucks
dudes.
November. I love it. So on the late night shows, especially last night, we've been getting Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, and Dan Aykroyd doing press for Ghostbuster Afterlife. I'm super excited for this movie, dude. I went to Zaxby's and got a cherry grape blaster, which is their official Ghostbusters Afterlife drink. I went into the Baskin Robbins and I got that's up there on my Ghostbusters show.
Yeah, your Funko Pop.
My Funko Pop. I've bought a few other things in terms of Ghostbusters Afterlife that haven't been delivered yet. And
get your popcorn Ecto One?
I won't know if I'll get it until I go for the opening, which is 6:00 on Thursday, because you have to buy it there. You can't buy it beforehand.
Oh, so it's a first come, first serve, but it's still sold there. Okay.
And I'm picking the boys up from school, and we're going early, dude. We are going early. So
be in line at 3. Why? We're hanging out.
Oh no,
man.
I got my tickets. So like it's literally just going to be like not even a line. Like, hey, I'll take 2 large popcorn and some Ghostbusters. Well, we're not serving those until the Ghostbusters. I'm here to wait for that. Like 2 hours.
You will. Yeah, no, I believe it.
But I am excited. I hope I get at least one of those. I'm going to buy a few of them if I can, but I'm going to, because the boys are going to want one.
Of course. It's definitely the boys are going to want one or 7.
Because if I only get one and I come home and they're like, well, I want one. Well, that's too bad because it's going up there. That's how this collectible works.
That's how these things work, kid. When you can buy your own, then you can have one.
And I need to get the Ghostbusters Ecto One real Ghostbusters car because I want to add it to the collection because I have each figure.
That's the one I still have, right?
I know, I love you, but I can't take it from you.
You're not taking it from me if I'm giving it to you.
Oh my God! But
my love of Ghostbusters is not ever going to compete with the level you're at. It's like if you try to say you like Starship Troopers more than me, it's just not real. That's you're dealing in untruths. So that is absolutely not. You got to have it, man. We've got to do a thing. I will bring it over. Get
I
that
love
to you, because man, I love you too, bro. I used to have the chopper. Remember the little
Yep.
real Ghostbusters chopper that you folded the wings down and it was like I had a trigger that
Yeah.
you would squeeze it would spin the oh gosh.
Remember
All
the
the
toilet
useless
bowl?
plastic crap we used to have.
Oh my God, so much. Oh, do you know what they started reissuing again? The
Oh, what's
old
that?
proton packs that we had.
The
as
real
kids.
ones? The blue overly
The
blue
the
ones?
overly blue, yeah.
Yes.
But here's the problem. Remember how we used to be able to buy it with the cord and the blaster?
Yeah, of course.
You have to buy the blaster separate.
Well, no, that's bullhorn.
That is bullshit.
That is absolute foul. I call so many fouls on that. How in the hell are you going to just have a proton pack without your freaking blaster? Which is, I mean, that's important. You got to have that. I understand if you want to sell the trap separately because that's how you get extra, man. I get that. I'm all about go ahead and make your money. But how dare you sell a proton pack without a blaster? That's just rude. That's cruel. How many more things do we need to buy from you people for Christmas? My God, give me my proton pack and my blaster together. Otherwise, you've just ruined Christmas. They've grinched you. They grinched the crap out of you, Mick.
Dude, and I'm so like because I wanted to get the old blue ones if they were like affordable enough for the boys because they are
$700. Let me guess, $700.
No, they're not that bad actually. They're pretty probably more affordable than they were when we were kids. But
yeah, shit, man, there's like $80 fucking. Those things were expensive back then.
But part of me doesn't want to force it on them because even though they like Ghostbusters, they didn't ask for it, and I feel like that would be like dad pushing his love of something onto the kids. And I'm trying not to do it, but I kind of want to do it.
I was going to say, I don't know how you're holding back. River immediately just nipped that in the bud with the whole, I don't like Star Wars. I was just so taken aback. I was like, I get you might not like Star Trek. That's a far cry for anyone to. I'm not going to put, no pressure on that. But the Star Wars, I thought we'd have that connection. And then with the Ghostbusters, I feel like this is your moment to be a pageant dad. Like with the Ghostbusters thing, you could really push this in that direction where you're like, hey, Jack, all right, every year you're going to dress up as a different version of a different Ghostbuster.
Dude, right now I have them on Halloween as horror movies because last year was Ghostface, this year is Michael Myers. And I have a feeling next year's going to be Jason or Freddy. I don't want to push him out of that either.
Well, if that's what he wants to do, that's the thing. I always give River, I don't understand. Girls, man, they change their minds so dang much, and then they love so many things, and when they love it, they love it hard. They love it hard, and it is like, yeah, this is what I'm in love with right now for the next 4 months. Like it is water, like it is air, like it's ridiculous.
I have a feeling she'll come around on Star Wars. I really do.
Man, you know what? It's cool if she doesn't. She's gonna love what she loves. She's still an amazing kid, even though it's a small twinge I have to feel every day.
Well, but that's the thing. Like you and I can sit down and just throw Star Wars on and watch it.
I mean, that's true. But when we were growing up with it, we didn't have much else.
Yeah, and we had Indiana Jones, we had Star Wars, and we had a few other things like Ghostbusters. But like for us, that was the stuff we could throw on. Now Marvel is so prevalent. Like I know my kids like go on Disney Plus and they throw on a Marvel movie, and they're really into it. Like Tommy was like, "Yeah, I just watched Lord of the Dark World the other day." I'm like, "Why?" And he was just like, I just wanted to watch it again. I just want because I forgot something. And I was like, and he was doing it to prepare for the new Thor movie because he's like, I forgot Jane Foster because she wasn't in the third one and she's going to be Thor. And I was like, oh, all right, that's pretty awesome. And so like he's associating it with something. So I kind of
amazingly thoughtful. That's great that he was doing that because I mean, and Thor: The Dark World after rewatch, it's not as bad as I remembered it. No. Like leaving the theater, I think you and I were a little more disappointed because we saw it ended low. It never really explodes. It never gets big, and when it does, it's muted. Like the whole feeling is muted. So it's just it's a downer.
Yeah, I agree, and it is, and like because even like with Loki at the end and how they play that out, like you don't know until the end that he's still alive, but then it's like, okay, well,
spoilers.
Oh no, I don't care. That movie's way too old at this point. But that actually brings me to my next topic that I want to kind of run by with you, and that's the Disney Plus Day announcements. So I know you haven't really paid attention to them, which understandable. But I wanted to pull them up and kind of go over them with you. Just kind of flash quick, see what you think of stuff.
Is our friend Blaine doing another Peter Pan movie? Because he should.
I hope and I wish. But no, but actually, before we go on, that's really funny you mentioned that because we're going to have an extra special episode this week of the Scene Snobs podcast. You're going to get Blaine Weaver is going to jump back on and talk about his new movie, A Cupid for Christmas, which is coming out this week. So he will be joining us for another extra episode, which should be out Thursday.
Super stoked. I love Blaine, man. He's amazing. He was so much fun.
So we got an Obi-Wan series update.
Okay, it's still going. Yep.
Still going, and they're going to have Hayden Christensen return as Darth Vader.
So he's actually going to be in the Vader suit again?
Yeah.
I think he deserves it. Look, man, as much crap as I give him because I didn't like his Anakin, I also understand a lot of it was direction. I can't put it all on him. So he deserves to wear it. He did a good job as being the moody guy who would turn into that whiny dude who would become just evil as all get out. Plays.
I agree.
The math checks out.
The math checks out. I love it. So also quick rundown on like what's playing. So Shang-Chi is now on Disney Plus. Jungle Cruise, Home Sweet Home Alone, but don't watch that because it's terrible.
So do watch Jungle Cruise. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they're going to start shooting a sequel for that soon.
Oh, nice.
Season 2 of The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which actually
that man's
really
a maniac, and it's a fantastic show. He's just ridiculous. I love him so much.
Olaf presents in Ciao Alberto, which is a short connected to the Sea Monster movie.
Luca.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I have not watched this yet. Under the Helmet: The Legacy of Boba Fett. It's all about where the love of Boba Fett came from, which I really can't wait to watch that. Marvel
Jeremy,
Studios.
what was the original man's name? The original Boba.
I cannot remember his name at the moment. He just passed away not too long ago, actually.
Bummer.
All right, so the big stuff is this. Okay, so we get Moonlight, She-Hulk, and Mrs. Marvel series get first looks. We got Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight. Flip through the pictures real quick. He looks like he plays like a really insane character. I cannot wait for it. As most of you may know or may not know, Moon Knight is a character who is schizophrenic, and he kind of transfers between the two personalities often. It's really well done, and Oscar Isaac's a great actor, so I'm super excited.
He's phenomenal. I'm so excited to see what he does. And it's always nice when they're relatable characters. Like, I definitely get where he's coming from with that schizophrenia, so it's fantastic. Very excited to see how he does it.
And we get Tatiana from Black Orphan Black, sorry. She will be playing Jennifer Walter, the aka She-Hulk. We're getting a young Miss Marvel, which, listen, represent young Miss Marvel. I'm super excited for it. She's from Jersey City, so she's my hero. I love it.
Well, River is in love with her. That is one of her tops, man. She's a big Miss Marvel fan, so I'm super excited for that one.
That's going to be a perfect one for her, I think. Look at that. Look at how cute that costume is.
Yeah, that still is pretty rad.
And she's an awesome hero, so like I'm not going to say like, oh, she's just so cute. Like, we got the leg. Get the green leg. Excited for it. They do kind of, I think because Jennifer Walters, a lot of people don't know this, broke the fourth wall in the comic books before Deadpool even did it. So I have a feeling we're going to get her breaking the fourth wall a lot. And if that's the case, that might open up Deadpool when he comes in to do it even more. So there she is as a kid. This is
Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Jennifer Walters or Kamala Khan?
That's Jennifer Walters as as a young kid I think because it's his cousin. Here's my speculation on this shot right here, because his arm is not destroyed, so it's before Endgame, I think.
Okay, and just so anyone who's listening is wondering, that's the Hulk standing outside of Jennifer Walters inside with a weird helmet on and some sort of cage.
I love it though. And we get Oscar Isaac.
Well, what's your speculation, bro?
So my speculation is that he was maybe needed to run DNA tests to kind of help him with the Professor Hulk thing. So he probably did some tests on her, and that's what's going to lead to her becoming.
It's really interesting how great Bruce Banner is, just a human being. The fact that he's willing to test on himself and humans and loved ones. He's just, one great guy. When you think of mad scientists who actually wound up on your side and you're grateful for, that's definitely, it's like Mangalove and him. I'm really glad we got those guys. They just really pushing pushing it forward the envelope, doing a great job.
I got some exciting news for you though.
I mean, come on, like seriously, there's so much testing on humans. Like Marvel's kind of jacked up. Never really realized how much human testing's going on. It feels a bit problematic. We should probably talk about that.
And it's mostly
volunteers or not. I don't. Come on.
Yeah, like Tony Stark's tests were the worst because they're always like just kind of like, well, I'll unleash this and just see what happens.
That's horrifying. He's like, oh yeah, hey Jarvis, let's just run this protocol that I came up with in my sleep and never ever tested once. But let's launch everything. Let's give it a shot. Won't hurt the environment at all.
So connected to the MCU world, Spider-Man freshman year is going to be coming out. That's going to be an animated series that tells Tom Holland's freshman year of becoming Spider-Man before we see him in Civil War. Agatha House of Harkness is coming out, which is going to be a continuation from the WandaVision. And Marvel Zombies are getting their own shows.
I'm pretty excited for the Marvel Zombies, and Agatha is going to be awesome. Because Agatha Harkness is just such a rad character and has just been portrayed so well. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, we're getting a Secret Invasion show.
Yep. Nick
Fury here, of course, looking old and grizzled. I dig it.
Huge, big old gnarly beard, no eye patch. There you go. Attaboy. I hope they bring the cat with him.
Me too. I'm so excited to see where everything goes with that because I loved Secret Invasion and the storyline there. And the fact that like so many heroes and villains were Skrulls the whole time, not knowing. I wonder what they're going to do with this show to connect it.
It's just very scary when they have this many things going on. When you start to, this was what got me in comic books. When the comic books would begin to split, do you have to watch these 9 other stories to catch this story? I really feel like the MCU is starting to reach this point where there's a lot of content coming. And it's just going to be fire hose effect again. So I'm always hesitant, but I'm also super excited to see it all. So, always conflicted.
I'm excited for this one though, because I like Samuel Jackson. I like the Secret Invasion storyline. So I'm interested. I'm in on that.
Right. And just the way I am for Agatha and Hawkeye, man, I am so freaking stoked for Hawkeye, bro.
Hawkeye looks so good.
Gosh. Jeremy Renner all day.
And they're doing a lot. Here's the thing I like about what Marvel's doing for the women heroes in the Marvel universe. So it's not like becoming heavy-handed. Like to me, Captain Marvel was kind of a heavy-handed movie, but everything since has been like, fine. Let's just introduce these characters just like they introduced the male heroes and male villains and stuff like that.
I was okay with the heavy-handedness they were going with because I feel like if you're going to have that all-out girl movie for all of my daughter, from that perspective, then they nailed that. And once again, I think it starts to fall into that, why do I love Starship Troopers so much? Because it fell under a weird place when I was a young teenager. And I feel like because it was just so much in your face and so absurd. And that's Captain Marvel was so big and so much from that perspective. So I think it was great. It was needed. And I think it came across really well. Once again, it was a movie that wasn't made for me. I wasn't the target audience of that movie. They nailed the target audience. I think they were going for it.
But that's the thing.
And I still enjoyed it.
We can always argue this on another show because I think it would go a long time, and I'd love to have maybe a few women come on and talk about it with us.
Absolutely.
But like, what really bothered me was that it was so heavy-handed. I think movies that are for everyone, but women and female empowerment driven are fine. I didn't like Ghostbusters because it was so heavy-handed in 2016.
See, I didn't like the 2016 Ghostbusters because it was bad jokes. You know what I mean? Like there were too many bad jokes and they were reaching for them. It all felt very reached.
Yeah.
Just wasn't concise.
Everybody who shot up and was annoyed about the female heroes in Endgame coming together.
That was amazing. I love that.
I was like, no, that's amazing. I was like, you should do that. I was like, that's fantastic. So stuff like that, like, I get, and like all the movies that are coming out, like when the Ant-Man movies, which are your favorite, like Hope is the strongest character in that story from the get-go, but it's never said that she's the strongest character. She just is. Like, she just exudes that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, zero question.
No problem with that whatsoever. Like stuff like that, like when it's well written like that, like it's not in your face, but it's just like yeah, of course she is. Like, why wouldn't she? She's been training this her whole life. Like, give her props.
Well, yeah, because in a lot of ways, it simply it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. As you are the equal. You are equal, if not superior. So why would not everyone be treated as equal? And I think that has been played out very well through the MCU. I think they've done a fantastic job doing it. I think it's more people being critical of it, or anytime they do something like the Captain Marvel, I always fear that it's taken because, oh, how dare they, try to make it so targeted and focused on one thing. Where's my thing? It's like, well, we've had all of our things. We keep having our things, It's nice to see something else from a different perspective done in a different way and for a different audience that deserves that. So it's exciting to watch. I love it.
Casey, why do you hate women? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm pretty sure I just stated to the opposite, but I mean,
I know
whatever.
You absolutely didn't. It came through that way. So there are introducing,
and there's the soundbite that I get fucked on.
No. Casey is a wonderful, wonderful girl dad who is very supportive and a feminist. There's the soundbite.
There it is.
So Echo is going to be introduced in Hawkeye, which is awesome. If anybody doesn't know who Echo is, you should look her up. She's a hero that she started out as a villain raised by the Kingpin, but then becomes a hero. So I think we're going to get the Kingpin. So that'll be interesting.
Hopefully. I mean, I would like to see that. I see Ironheart is in there too.
Boom.
I'm so excited for that.
Casey.
Oh, I know, bro. Okay, I saw this, and of course, what's the first thing you think?
That's
it. I mean, that's 100% where I go. That was one of the last things I think we brought it up on last week's show about one of the last things, the things we gave up as we grew up from children into dumbass teenagers. One of mine last ones was X-Men animated series 97. So I am super stoked that this is coming back, and I am so excited to be able to just pick up on this story because I went back and rewatched it actually after our discussion. I grabbed a couple episodes. So good. So
all
good.
Right. Well, you know what? That's actually a good point. If anybody wants to see what else came out on Disney Plus Day, I'll link the IGN article that I put up here in the description. You can check it out there. But let's get into our actual conversation, our topic that we were gonna put into effect. Our first one, anyway. What fictional job did you want as a kid?
Well, Mick, it's wonderful you asked me this question. I've had a few times, a little bit of time to go over this one. It was a weird one because fictional job is a wide range because some things are jobs made up. Like, let's say, a Blade Runner. I was hoping by the point that I was old enough to have such a job, say around 25, because I was obviously an old person when I was 9, I wanted to be able to hunt down robots, synthetics, robots. That was what I wanted to do. You couldn't have convinced me otherwise, which then also jived with archaeologist. Okay. Now, both of these roles, Harrison Ford, of course. But to understand that, and you and I have discussed this many times, archaeologist has a wide range when looking at the scope of, say, Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
When finding out that wasn't the real thing an archaeologist did, or finding out that a paleontologist wouldn't be the first person they contacted when they, cloned velociraptors. They wouldn't immediately reach out to a wise paleontologist. No, that's not a thing. You just study death and dig holes. So, yeah, when finding out some of those were what the real job was, that kind of changed my mind about things. One of my top jobs, though, would have been novelist.
Okay.
Because those novelists, I don't know what it is about being a novelist, but they had the nicest homes. And they always were able to move to the coolest, weird, most quaint little towns. Now, sometimes it worked out well, like in most every Hallmark movie. Being a novelist usually pays off pretty well. Seems to be kind of ideal.
I don't think anymore.
No? Is that them living at home now? Or maybe their parents died, they inherited the house? That kind of novelist?
I think novelists, like established novelists, do fine.
Well, James Patterson's of the world, okay. Yeah. So the 0.02% of...
But like James Patterson's doing it forever. Like new novelists, like I think you get that one hit book, and then you can either keep it up with more books, or not. Or you just have writers who just write books constantly now. Like, because it's such a weird time because there's a lot of people who don't read that much anymore.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of people with more time on their hands who work from home, so maybe they're working on their novels. So maybe the novelist, we're about to see a big novelist boom.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, we'll see. But I've written a great American novel, and I kept it in my drawer. And then I
Well,
burnt
you
the
should
drawer.
have. Exactly, it was smart.
Burnt the drawer.
But that's the thing with being a novelist is also they're the ones who are always at the center of all the terrible things that happen in horror movies. So, like in my older age, I once again realized novelist is a terrible position. Like nobody should be a novelist. Run.
Let's get something straight, Chris. There weren't cyborgs in Blade Runner. God.
No, but it's great because you could still be a cyborg.
No, that would. I'm just messing with him.
I want to be a cyborg.
That would be interesting. Would that be a weird job to have, though? Just like, what if you're a cyborg that's just a laborer?
Yeah, what if you're a cyborg at like the checkout of a shopper's food or something? Oh, what if your cyborg attachment is just a scan gun, so you inventory places?
Chris, are you a cyborg that inventories grocery
He's
stores?
a warehouse cyborg.
Are you Marty? Are you Marty from Martin's, where you just kind of roll around? Is that a cyborg? All right. So my fictional job. All right. First and foremost, Indiana Jones. I wanted to be an adventurer, and I will tell you this, and this is the truth. When I found out that adventure was not an occupation, I'm not talking archaeologist. I found that out early. But that adventure, that going out and going on adventures like treasure hunts, things like that, because it wasn't just Indiana Jones that made me believe that was real. You had MacGyver. You had so many other things. So, like, I'm like, this is a legit thing because they wouldn't do so many movies and shows about somebody who's an adventurer.
I mean, Magnum PI, that was close to being an
PI.
adventurer. So private investigators, adventurers, same thing.
But when I found out that that's not a real occupation, I was older. I was like 14. I was like, really? Like, this doesn't, like, I can't do anything like this whatsoever. Damn. I was pissed. Now, early on, another one I wanted to do was was Ghostbuster. We've talked about this.
Of course.
Because it just would have been fun. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, Ecto 1, come on, bro. Who wouldn't want to ride that thing?
When I was a kid, I thought Ghostbusters were real, like firefighters or police officers. And I'm not saying I was the brightest kid, but I was young when those came out. So,
yeah.
I mean, I was born in 82. The movie came out in 84. So,
you saw it when you were 2, obviously, and it just made an imprint on your soul. It hasn't been able to change.
But even if I saw it at 4 or 5, like, I'm still 4 or 5. You're going to believe this exists. It looks so legit, and the equipment was there, and there's a cartoon about it. And I've seen cartoons about police officers. I've seen cartoons about firefighters. Why wouldn't it be real?
I mean, I saw cartoons about street sharks, and I'm pretty sure I knew I wasn't going to be able to be one of those.
And let me tell you, I'm not alone in that, because there's a lot of people who want to be Ghostbusters.
Oh, please, of course. I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. That was the only reason I was all cool with the idea of wearing a jumpsuit. That's what introduced me to the idea that, I could wear a jumpsuit. Sure.
Well, how many ghost hunts have I actually been on? Like, so like it never went away. I just knew I wasn't going to bust any ghosts.
Yet.
But never having seen a ghost, let me tell you, as an adult watching Supernatural, that's some bullshit.
Now, when you're talking about busting ghosts, I feel like this could change. Like, you could be like a ghost detective who busts them in their presence, or you could bust them while they're in the middle of a drug deal, because I think ghosts still do that probably.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah.
They ride
type
them
of ghost cop.
Oh, my God. No, stay away from Ghost Dad, though.
No.
Especially if he has a drink for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't hang out with him. He'll come through the phone and try to lure you.
What's in this drink? Well, let me tell you. Is pudding.
Well, you see, what you do is you come on over and have a little sip of do. Try this. Say good luck, everybody. Yeah, it's terrible. I can't do that one anymore.
I love it. So stuff like that really bothered me. It was okay. So here's a funny story, though. So my dad wanted to be an archaeologist, and not because of Indiana Jones. This is pre-Indiana Jones.
Probably because of like the Leakies, people who are actually famous archaeologists.
Yeah. And but then he never finished college, so he couldn't do it. He went right into the workforce. So years later, a friend of ours, God bless this guy's soul, man, he became an archaeologist, and he told us exactly what it entails and like all the grave digging they have to do. And he was working on the 9/11 grave digging type stuff. Like even years after, like he became one years after that.
Yeah.
And then like he was like, oh, then my next big job was to go and we had to move the bodies from the cemetery so they could build there and then relocate them to a new. And I was just like, so it's not even like you're looking for like old stuff. You're like straight up like just working with dead people.
I mean, he's really close to what I would have wanted to be, which is more along the lines of antiquities dealer. I think in the fullness of... What? That was a pretty far cry. No. Don't want to hump those bones. Just have to remain impressive, bro. Yeah, but they're lions, brother.
That's fair.
I mean, goodness. Usually death is a big one.
If there's no pulse
is important. I'm pretty sure I've stated before that pulse is important for dating. It's like step one.
When you become a ghost, you're going to be John Astin's ghost from Frighteners.
Which one was he?
He was the old ghost, that had the old cowboy ghost who was just shooting everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will absolutely be that guy.
He looked at the mummy and he's like, "Nice form," and then he like went in there and started humping the mummy. It was so fun.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Hey, in ghost form, it's fine. It's fine. Ghost.
You're both dead. It's not necrophilia if you're both dead.
Right. Exactly.
It's just ghosting. Ghost. That's a whole different thing in that world.
That's a whole different ghosting kind of thing. It's you have to actually get protection from that kind of ghosting out there.
Chris says, no. I wanted to be solo. It was a character from an old RPG called Cyberpunk Gas
Love
Station.
Cyberpunk, man.
Okay, I dig it. I didn't know if it was Jean-Claude Van Damme from Cyberpunk.
Well, there was a completely random weird job from a novel called Snow Crash, a sci-fi novel in the future where basically pizza delivery guys, like that's a legit job and you get like real pay from it. But he was also a cyber samurai. So that was pretty rad. Like he had a souped up beast car. It was awesome.
What a book. I want to read that book.
Yeah, Snow Crash. Check it out.
Speaking of novelists, I want to read that novel. Casey Ryan Platt would have been the guy who sold the skeletons to the poltergeist.
Oh, 100%. I say, would you like to take a look at my wares?
It's just Toby Hooper looking at Casey like, so you're an archaeologist? And he's like, no, these are...
Of course, no. I'm an anthropologist, in fact. He's one of those artists. Don't worry about silly terms. Just take a look at the merchandise.
I want to ask you a philosophical question on this one, okay? Everybody got all uppity and shit about them using real skeletons. And they weren't actual rotting skeletons. They were skeletons that they dressed up. They were just real skeletons in that scene. And everybody got all uppity and shit over it. So let me ask you this. Is that worse than a real skeleton hanging in a science class for the rest of the day? At least those people, even in the afterlife, were movie stars.
Okay. So firstly, if I'm going to be a movie star, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have someone just jerking me around and using me and positioning me wherever on wires and shit. All right. So let's just pump the brakes on that one. Secondly, anything hanging in science, when you donate your body to science, I'm pretty sure that's what you're anticipating is hanging out. Or maybe they're going to cut your bones up and, have to do studies on them. There's a lot of possibilities there. But the idea of just being, I don't know, Pinocchioed and marionetted in, I would be okay with it. I would sign a disclaimer on that. I would 100% donate to. And in fact, I would ask. I would insist that I just fly in on like hangers every once in a while. Just throw me up on wires and just zip me across rooms.
Okay, Beetlejuice. Listen.
It would be awesome.
Would you? All right. You understand technology. You know technology. Would you call technology a science?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I went to a technical school. It was a technology-driven school for filmmaking, Which says to me that there's a science to filmmaking, and if there's a science to making movies, then then they were absolutely a product of scientific research, and that's that. And point proven. We can't say anymore.
I have been lawyered. I have in fact been lawyered. Yeah, you won. My God, you won. Science. You can say it.
Either way, I'm just glad that those people, even after their lives were over, got to be celebrities in some way.
Did they put them as a special mention? Were they in the credits? Exactly. How did they work that part out? Was it a special thanks to the family? Like,
they probably don't know who they were. They're probably old.
That's even worse. So did you just say they're probably old? Like,
yeah. What about the bodies that don't sell to the science labs and stuff? What if? Because that's a business. There's a business.
Do they wind up at the bottom of the Yangtze River?
I don't know, but that's weird. But like, they don't bury them, so they probably sit dusty in a closet somewhere. And I'll tell you that prop master, which this is where it gets dicey. Prop master, because now that makes them props, and that's not cool. But whatever.
Yeah, you see, you just kind of took away the humanity part, and that's really important with the dignity part. Like, there's some iddies that got to be hit there.
Are you human after you donate your body to science, or are you a test tube?
You should think that you should still be treated with some dignity. Your remains should be treated. The entire point of Poltergeist was disrespecting the fucking remains. So then to film it, they disrespected the remains. What happened?
Yeah, but look at what happened to them after they disrespected those remains.
Yeah, Tobe Hooper almost died. Steven Spielberg became like the biggest name in directing. Oh, he made the deal. That's what it was. Steven made the deal on the last day. Big old Lucy showed up and was like, hey, bro, everything's going to work out great for you.
Yeah, I
kind of
wish he added that little girl to the deal, because that poor kid. And then the other daughter got killed before the movie came out.
Yeah, yeah.
Tragedies all over that movie because they had to go and use dead bodies.
And Craig T. Nelson still had a career, so I mean, it was just awful. I couldn't believe it.
He went on to star in TV, and that's not what anybody wants.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's pretty well known for Coach. I mean, he had 9 seasons of that friggin' show.
Yeah, that show did go on. Yeah, so Craig T. Nelson comes out and he's just like, my career's ruined in movies because I did this, and we desecrated the dead. Now I have to star on TV, but he still gets a really long career in TV.
Yeah, and that was when TV was kind of on the fence. It was like, are you successful? And then the moment you hit kind of 5 seasons and something, people went, yeah, you're pretty well known. But there was a threshold to it. Like Picket Fences, man. Tom Skerritt was a huge actor.
Yep.
Kind of fizzled. Picket Fences shows up. That was another, 7
and he was in the third Poltergeist.
Oh, man.
But here's the thing. I think you're cursed because he did have to star in all 9 seasons with Jerry Van Dyke. God rest his soul.
I don't know. Jerry Van Dyke seems pretty fantastic.
He seems. Listen, I have a best friend and a co-host that is very wiry and eccentric. And I'm very docile in the terms of maybe a Craig T. Nelson type. So I will tell you, if we had to do 9 seasons together, I'd love every minute of it, and I'd be sad that it ended. But man, can I not? Can I not keep up?
So basically what you're saying is we've got 8 seasons of this. We're 2 years down. We've only got 6 left, folks.
No,
at any point after that, it could just be explosions. We could just be throwing shit at each other. Who knows?
Well,
Stay tuned.
What's going to give out first, our friendship or my heart?
Oh, your heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're the strongest ship in the fleet, bro.
What's the strongest part of my body? Not my heart.
Not your heart. Maybe your thighs.
Cholesterol's a bitch.
I bet your thighs are motherfuckers.
Dude, but let me ask you this. Why do you think Coach went on for so long? Was it because it was a good show? Or was it because Dahmer, who is the same guy who plays Patrick Star on SpongeBob, was he just lucky? Because SpongeBob's been on for 20 years.
It's Dauber, man. I love the Dauber, man. He was hilarious. And he was the sweet idiot. So I think Sweet Idiots would go on for good runs. Bull was a little too dumb from Night Court, and that's why he didn't quite have the run he should have. But he still did a bunch of bit parts.
They were on for 10 seasons, though.
What, Night Court was?
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Was Harry Anderson judge all 10 years?
All 10 years.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Oh, man, I just remembered Harry Anderson no longer exists on this earth.
I know. They're remaking that show.
Are they really? Who are they going to use?
The girl from Big Bang Theory, Melissa Roach.
Oh, okay.
She's playing Harry's daughter.
Oh, interesting.
And she becomes a judge, takes over the circuit, and who's the prosecutor? But Dan Fielding.
Get out. John
back.
Larroquette is the tie-in? Okay. I'm so excited. Oh, man, I wish and Marky Post.
All we have is Marsha Warfield's Richard Mole and John Larroquette left.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, Richard Mole's still around?
Yeah, he's still around. He's
man,
older
I
now.
feel like
think
a real asshat now for that one.
I love it, though. Mick will now direct movies with the lab coat on. It's a science.
Yes.
I want my PhD or my MD for directing.
Doesn't work that way. But we'll find the other ones. there's some out there.
So this one should be a good one. Our final topic for tonight. Are popcorn movies, remakes, reboots, etc. just money grabs, or do they have any artistic merit? Now, speaking as a scientist in filmology, I will say that they do have merit because, all right. Here, I can do this one too. I can lawyer this one. All right. So, you know how war creates technological advancements?
Mm-hmm. Yes, faster than most things. Yes.
Popcorn movies and buy a connection to those remakes and reboots, because so much money is put into remakes and reboots by studios, create technological advancements in the sciences of filmmaking. Think about it. It was popcorn movies that gave us such great CG. Is if you go back to look at Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. For Sammy Stan, hey Sammy Stan, thanks for joining.
Hi Sammy.
A popcorn movie is like a big budget blockbuster movie.
Sammy, who says, "What the fuck is a popcorn movie?" In case anyone was listening, wondering what that's about. Nah, she's unleashing it. I love it.
So they're like big budget movies. They used to come out like the Marvel movies and so much more. If it's a huge inflated budget, that's considered a popcorn movie. Like you go there just to enjoy your popcorn and watch a mindless movie. I say there is artistic merit, though.
Okay, and I'm going to utterly have to agree with you. I don't want to. I have no desire to do this. I fought so hard through 4 different speeches of how I could just be like, I'm going to get him because I know he's going to like them. I think they're terrible, and yet they're absolute necessity. I think there's a rubber band effect that really affects in a positive way the independent community. I think there are small filmmakers who have brilliant minds and stories and visions, and they're able to push through those because of the money generated out of these popcorn movies and remakes and reboots. Normally, I'm not a fan of remakes and reboots. I'm the guy who says that you have an original thought. Do it your way. Try something different. Then Denis Villeneuve showed up and blew my mind with what he did with Dune. What he gave me with Blade Runner was so freaking gorgeous and atmospheric, and it just locked me in and gave me everything I wanted. It was perfect.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Oh, I got reverb. Sorry.
Oh.
No, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Sorry. I was listening though.
Well, I broke my stride.
No, I'm an ass.
So he was, but yeah, what Denis Villeneuve did anyway was fantastic, and has really helped progress and make those movies and reboots better, because now they're showing me the vision of the things we couldn't do technologically 20, 30, 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. I think that's really important. That's why even having the prequels with those little extras and throwing in all of the new CGI and effects for the Star Wars movies, and then having J.J. Abrams reboot Star Trek movies. And it's not just for us. Once again, it's for a new generation. This isn't just for us to be sated as fans. It's for us to go, oh, sweet, we're going to hand this off now. And the next generation gets to experience a version of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy and Uhura, and gets to actually see, what all the Sulu references, all these little things that they get to add and see in a different light. And I think it's really important to have those. It's also a pain in the ass because it's boring sometimes, man. And I don't want to spend that much money on it. And it's just kind of stupid because I already know the story in a lot of ways, and I want to see a better story. But once again, filmmaking is a science and it's an art, and people have their own impression of a thing. It's their own interpretation, and it's fun to see that.
I think the problem with reboots and remakes came on pretty hard, maybe like 10 to 15 years ago is when it really started, and they were like, we're just going to remake everything everybody loved.
It just became too much. And
it was way too much. And I felt like at that time, studios weren't backing any certain filmmakers or anything to go out there and be original. They were just like, no, this is what the people want. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. And it tanked hard and it went bad and nothing was working for them. So I think once it got out of that and we saw like filmmakers come back and be like, all right, we're done with this, then remakes slowed down to a point where any remakes or reboots we were getting were actually fun. Mm-hmm. I will fight to the death. Not really, but I will stand on this hill 1,000% that the DuckTales reboot show is one of the best shows of the last 10 years. And I'm not really
you're a huge fan.
I'm not a huge animated fan though. There's certain animes and animated shows that I watch that I'm like, I like this. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Great show. Like so, but like I don't like get into all of it. Right. I don't, Cowboy Bebop, love that show. Can't wait for the remake. Like I want to see, it remade into a live action. Mm-hmm. I do like what Disney's doing, where they're remaking all of their old stuff into live action. You have the technology now, do it. Why not? Tell a different story.
I mean, you have to. I think that we've seen that problem though, where some of those remakes and reboots and some of those things are just they fall short, especially with live actions, because they lose the heart. I think is a big problem when you get so focused, like with The Lion King, you're so focused on having this huge cast and these awesome effects and this awesome thing, and we're doing this differently and we're trying stuff. It just lost some of the heart to me. There were parts that just didn't connect the same way they did animated. And once again, then that's just not made for me, because I do know a lot of people who loved it. Although live action Cinderella, one of my favorite Cinderellas ever. Are you kidding me? Not the Camila Cabello one, but the one 2017, I believe, the live action one Disney came out with was phenomenal.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's such a crazy thing because when you look back at it, yes, some are hit or miss. Like if you take the whole of them, some are misses that you can't really understand why they're misses because they were such huge hits as animated films. But then there's other remade animated films into live action that are hits. Like Dumbo was a miss. So that says to me, the filmmaker failed that one. That wasn't the story. It was the filmmaker failed that telling. Whereas other filmmakers have stepped in. Beauty and the Beast, huge hit. Lion King, huge hit. Those filmmakers stepped in and they made them their own.
And I think it's a little hard for me to say that about Dumbo only because you got Tim Burton going in and they said, hey, dark guy, can you make a darker movie darker? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was just kind of, so you're right, swing and a miss. They just did not hit that one. That they just didn't. Sure, you made a dark movie. Duh.
They just, and certain things will hit, won't hit, but I like that Disney's willing to try them.
Yeah, and I, once again, as with you, just circled back to that whole, I think they're doing better now. I think remakes and reboots, as much as I don't enjoy them as much, and I don't want to see the Spider-Man origin story for the 400th freaking time. I'm done. I'm good. I'm comfortable there. I do still want to see more of that character in a story. So it is difficult to say I don't want reboots when I kind of do. I want to see some of my older characters done well in a story I give a shit about. But I also want to see someone care about it and not just the money grab aspect of it. So it's a really catch-22. Double-edged sword there.
Well, that's one of the big things for me when I listen to people argue about like the popcorn films and why popcorn films don't work and they're terrible and they ruin indie films. I'm like, they don't ruin indie films. Indie films ruin indie films. Mm-hmm. You've either made a good movie or you made a movie that people don't want to watch. It is, there's no two ways about it. it is sort of definitive in that way. It's not the popcorn film that's overshadowing you because you never had a chance to go up against the popcorn film.
That's not where that's not your audience. That's not what you're going to tag. You can't ever look at those numbers. You have to put together what you believe is the project that you believe in. People are going to like it or they aren't. That's kind of why I like the indie filmmaking more. It's almost like college football. It's that different level, where you're incredible athletes doing a wonderful job, but you're also doing it up against some people who are awful at it. So there should be a difference. It's a very much a yes or no thing that then propels you further.
Yeah, and anything. A lot of people who argue about popcorn films, so especially as indie filmmakers or such, who are just like, no, screw indie or screw popcorn films, screw those big blockbusters. And it's like, you go back and you ask them what some of their favorite movies of all time are. They're naming some popcorn movies that they don't want to think of as popcorn movies because they don't want to lower their point in any way. And it's like, listen, buddy, Jaws was the first blockbuster. Star Wars was a blockbuster, and every subsequent one after that was a blockbuster.
E.T. I mean, most of the people we know, Spielberg, Scorsese, their movies were the popcorn movies because they were huge. So that's just the way it works. It's the way the cookie crumbles. The reason we are inspired to do these shows and to discuss this art form and science art that we love so much is because of fantastic popcorn movies that made us as kids go, wow. Yep. And that's the effect that I want. And honestly, Dune made me go, wow. There's a lot of movies that have been rebooted recently and remakes that have made me have that reaction. And that's what I'm looking for from the entertainment that I put into my face.
Yeah. And if it tells a better story than it was, then that's okay with me too. Now, I wish they would take some stories that didn't work in the past and remake those.
Yes.
I feel that would be like, don't remake our favorites. Remake the ones that you can remake and remake them good.
Yeah, man. Give me Superman 4, but better.
That's for sure. Oh my God, Henry Cavill comes back and fights, what is it, Sunman or whatever?
I don't know. It's the quest for peace. So whatever it takes, if he has to fight the Nuclear Man or whatever the guy
Nuclear Man, that's what it was. No, he threw him into the sun. That's what it was.
Yeah, he launched him into the sun like a missile.
Superman doesn't kill. Yeah, he does. When it suits him, he does. But you know what? On a note like that, I think that as we kind of wind down, I want to say, one thing that I really do appreciate watching is your face every Tuesday night here at 9:00 p.m. You can check out the Scene Snobs podcast, of course. And you can check out Real Combat, which is every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Tomorrow is our last live show of Real Combat. We're going to be moving to a recorded format. It's easier to get guests that way. But make sure you check it out. It's exclusive on the Scene Snobs YouTube channel. If you like this video or you like this podcast, please give us a like, give us a rating wherever you are, follow, things like that. You can go check us out on the scenesnobs.com. Click the link and you can go anywhere. We have all of our stuff there. You can follow us on social media and the whole 9 yards. We are on literally everything.
Yeah, we're everywhere. It's uncomfortable how everywhere we are. I'm good with it. I hope you're okay with it. I warned everyone we're like spores from mushroom. We're just going to spread out everywhere, and wherever we stick, hi, that's us.
Oh,
nice pleasure. Well, I want to say good night. Thank you, my friends. It's a pleasure as always. I love hanging out and working with your face, my friend. Truly makes my life that much better. And Sammy, do your paper.
Go do your paper, Sam. Actually, real quick, we didn't do our what we're thankful for this. Oh, wait, you always thank me. Thank somebody else.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Who else am I thankful for now? Let's see. Last week was River. The week before that was you. Mm-hmm. And this week I'm going to go with being thankful for my parents because they had sex. And now that's on everyone else's mind. Congratulations. It's stuck with you all.
My thankful, and I'm going to give Casey credit for this thanks because Casey said this at the beginning of the show. And I know he's going to agree with me, and he absolutely should because this was his thought initially. We are both thankful for Justin Lago, who makes our logos. He's an amazing graphic artist. He's a fantastic guy. He always hooks us up, and he's always great to us. So I want to say we're thankful for him and thankful for all of your support and everything else.
Yes, we love all of you. Thank you so much. Please be kind to each other. Justin, I love you so much, brother, and thank you so much for the food, for the awesome gifts. Appreciate you. Everyone be well. Peace out. Till next week.
All right. Love you, Len. Take care, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and you can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or you can check it out on any podcast platform or our YouTube channel anytime after that. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. If you guys want to join, check us out over on thescenesnobs.com. We have links for everything. The Scene Snobs merch store is open. You can check that out too. Links again on the site. Or like, follow, and subscribe on all of our social media. Again, head over to thescenesnobs.com. It's all there for you guys. Love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.